Okay, I designed something fun. It's part of a secret I've been keeping for a while. This is actually one that I did not video at all during the entire process. It's part of a summer must-haves promo for Lion Brand. And there are a total of like 15 designers involved in this, and they all use like cottons and bamboos and just my most favorite fibers. So I'm super glad to be part of this group of people and using all of these yarns that are my favorite in the Lion Brand collection. As a Lion Brand blogger, I get to know about different promotions that are going to come up. I get invited to submit or apply for those things, and every single time I try and come up with at least one knit design and one crochet design to submit. Oftentimes my knit designs get chosen. I think that maybe there's less people that submit those, but it has challenged me more and made me a better knitter being able to do this. I love both crafts, so it's fun to be able to be a designer of both. Every single time that I get chosen and I get told that my designs are amazing, it fills my heart up and it motivates me to continue doing it. I know a lot of people also like my design template. I created it on Canva, and I gotta say I took some inspiration from a lot of friends before, because they submit to like magazines and usually you need like a one-page submission, and I've been testing for We Crochet, and usually when they offer gigs to me, they show me those people's submissions. And so I've seen like a lot of different things as far as information that is involved in your submission, but also Lion Brand tells us what they would like in our submissions. So I made sure to include that in my template. I took some inspiration from Alexia of Two of Wands in that, you know, she does her collections, and usually when she ends up sharing her stuff, like she has like this beautiful aesthetic to portray everything about what her design is going to be. So I like things to be a little bit more, like a little bit not busy and not so, and I like things separated into categories. So yeah, when I went into Canva, I found a template that I liked, and I've been using it ever since. So I tell a little bit of like a description where my inspiration comes from, and usually like the inspiration picture, whether it's a stitch texture, an actual garment that's in the world that I want to create to be a yarny one, or yeah. So that I'll put the inspiration, I'll put like the construction that I imagine I'm going to be using, the stitches, what season I want it to come out in, what colors, what kind of yarn I want to use, what craft I'm going to use, whether it's crochet or knit. And then it has like my regular information on there, like my email and me, my one of a Kate, you know. So, and then like the title, what I'm going to name it. I decided to make this vlog a little bit different. I'm not doing a styling of it. I'm not doing a make video of it. I'm doing kind of podcasty, diary, love note to this design, which is called Shoulder Shift Tank. I know a lot of people like to hear about inspiration and where designers might get inspiration. So I first got inspired by this whole one shoulder idea because I like to browse fashionable things or maybe trendy things coming or unique things on Pinterest. And this girl came up in one of my searches, and I thought, wow, that would be so cool if I could create like that in yarn. And I know that I've seen people use and talk about Truboo and its slinkiness, and I felt like the vibe of this top was slinky, and it would be my opportunity to use Truboo. So yeah, that's my inspiration story. And I hope maybe like hearing more behind the scenes of that you might feel inspired too to like make this your own. Originally the name was going to be Twisty Top, and so I wanted it to be like one big rectangle like this, and then you twist it on the top and then seam it, and it will permanently stay as like a twisted knot up top here. I tried many different ways to see how that could work to where it wasn't so bulky, and I just couldn't think in my head how that could become, and I shared with some of my close friends, but I couldn't think, none of us could think of how that could work out to translate for many sizes, and that's just not cool with me. When I first started designing this, I felt like my stitches weren't great. I had been taking it with me different places, and so I know I was getting different gauge, and yeah, I just was struggling with gauge. So I restarted and thought, and ordered new needles and thought, okay, it's gonna be great this time. And then the next time, I felt like, yes, I liked the stitches a little bit better, but I didn't like the bind off, basically. I was so stuck on having it be a twist. So I put it to the side. I was very upset. I was disappointed. I thought that this was going to be like the easiest thing to design, the easiest thing for everybody to make. And I was devastated that I was going to disappoint everybody in that, like, I agreed to be part of this promotion and it's not working out. I have a deadline to reach. I also wanted to get this design tested, and like I said, the deadline was really approaching, and I just was feeling a lot of stress about it. So I needed to breathe. So I set it to the side, and then at a certain point, I had to face it. I had to face it and figure out some solutions. So I did. I picked it up. I tried some looser bind offs. I started to think, maybe I can tack it, and then I thought about shawl pins or whatever, like, to secure it. And I went through my stuff and I found like my hair clip, and I clipped it on there, and that was it. I was like, oh my gosh. And then when I let it just drape on me like this, I was like, I can wear this in so many ways. That made me so freaking excited, and then I instantly fell in love with this. I wanted to tell everybody in the freaking world about this fantastic project. Sometimes when you're creating, those light bulb moments just happen. You just have to go with the flow of the thing. Like, even though I picture in my head that this is what I want, this is what I want to achieve, sometimes you don't get what you want. And that's just not how creativity works. So I'm really glad that it led me to what I've got now. Yeah, I think that not having the twist is even more beginner friendly and less complicated. I can thank that name to the Wandering Yarny, who is my permanent tech editor now. She will forever and always help me with figuring out yardage, because I swear that task gives me so much stress, and my life has been so much better with her doing that for me. So thank you so much, Carrie. I love you. If you are wanting to design, I totally encourage you to reach out to Carrie to get her to help you out in any tech editing needs. I know some people, when they're designing, they don't necessarily come up with a name right when they come up with the idea. I like my names to be very searchable and descriptive of exactly what the item is. So yeah, for this one, I struggled with renaming, because I couldn't go with Twisty Top anymore since I didn't have the twist. So I struggled with renaming it and had to ask some of my closer friends, since this was like a secret. My closer friends that I could trust keeping it a secret knew, but they helped me in the whole process, and I'm so grateful for having them all. And I did ultimately go with Shoulder Shift Tank, and I mean, how much sense does that make? It shifts. Oh man. And then, you know, it also reminds me of like that sound bit. It's like when you do your makeup, like on TikTok, it has like about contouring, and it's like, let's not tell our husbands, because then they'll know that we can shape shift. I wonder if I should do this one to that bit. That's totally off topic, but yeah. I have worn this many times and throughout the day. It's so comfortable. I am down for living in this thing. It's surprising that how one arm thing like this is that comfortable. I feel like I have a little bit more freedom with my arm to do things, and also coverage, because there's so much positive ease. I have incorporated 10 inches of positive ease in this. So, I mean, that's why we've got this much room. Okay, so let's talk about it. I'm wearing it. I'm wearing it right now as a loosiness. It's been jumbled up in the corner, so there's a little bit of wrinkle there, but it's fine. Maybe I should have gone out and sweat in it a little bit, because it's like nearly 90 degrees outside here in Texas, which is perfect weather for this. As you can see, it is pretty loose and airy, so you do get a little bit of a see-through effect. When I took the finished pictures, I wore like a white bralette. I've since gotten rid of my like strapless skin tone bra, so I need to invest in a new one, but right now I'm wearing my black one, and it's okay if you can see it. I'm fine with it. Some people don't particularly like wearing strapless. It's actually what I wear like all the time. I don't have a lot, so there's not a lot to hold up. So I don't like it pulling on my neck. These muscles always give me a hard time, so I don't like straps up here. The only time I will is if I wear a sports bra, and I'm not wearing a sports bra with this top. Like, I get to have a free arm. I graded it from, well, for bust sizes 30 to 62 inches. But like I said, there's gonna be 10 inches of positive ease. So if you want less ease, you're gonna have to choose your size accordingly. And I tell you on there how you could take out or give. So basically, this could also help you too. This is the rows, and then this is the stitches. So the stitches go from like my back all the way around to the front. And so if I wanted mine to be longer, not as like, well, it's cropped but not cropped. I love how like I get this effect where it's longer here and then shorter here. It's like an extra va-va-voom, but when I pull it up, it's all here. So if I wanted this to be longer, then I would need to add more stitches. If I wanted less ease here, then I would need to subtract rows. So trying it on as you go would totally work out. There's so much room to play here. Basically, this project just kind of makes you slow down a little bit. I think it's a very meditative project since all you're doing is knitting back and forth, like it's garter, just back and forth flat knitting. And so you could watch movies, you can listen to podcasts, you can socialize with people. This is the project for that. So that's a lovely thing. The only thing is that you might want to actually like look at it so that you're not splitting your stitches. Wood needles would help in that area because you're basically making a scarf but assembling it to be a garment. I have full faith for any beginner to be able to achieve this make. One of my testers said this so perfectly. She said, "This is the perfect top for someone to make when they are ready to graduate from scarves." So if you've never made it a garment and you know basic knitting, you can do this. There's no shaping whatsoever. This is literally just knitting. Knitting, that's it. The only like complicated part you might have is to get this kind of stretchy bind off right here. I give you like 3 different options in the pattern. So like you can choose on what you want to do with based off what you're familiar with, or you can just follow like my steps of what I say. That's the 3rd option, which is in the actual pattern part. If you find confusion there and you decide that you're coming back to this video looking for that answer, that's your answer there. You're not using all 3 bind offs, but you get an option. Because this is the most beginner friendly pattern that I've ever done. And some people don't know. So I just wanted to throw it out there. You can do what you want to do. So this is the cast on edge, and I did a long tail cast on. So this is not like, this is the tight area. And the reason why I have that much gap too is because it's universal here to where you can wear it Grecian goddess, like Grecian goddess, yeah. I said Grecian, that's the same word. But you can wear it like Grecian goddess like this. And I used a little hair clip, but you can use any kind of way to adorn it. Ribbon, whatever, like you can just tack it and keep it permanently on there. I write all those options in the pattern too. But I like that this brings an extra glam. So say if I was like at the pool or all day hanging out at a festival or something, or a market, then I could, wear it down casually, but then I want to go on a date later or dinner or something, like I can add this extra, I got my hair stuck in it. I can add this extra accessory to really like step it up a notch. And also give like both arms freedom if you want. So that's why I had like a little extra gap here. I do put in the pattern like arm depths based on Craft Yarn Council of where you would want to seam up here. But also as far as the neck goes, I suggest putting it on. I didn't really give like an actual measurement of where to seam. I say start the seam, because when I was starting mine, and if I just kind of hold it, I felt like I wasn't getting a good idea of it. So I feel like if you start the seam, I actually seamed mine up more than I needed, and it was like really tight when I put it on, and I felt like it was restricting my neck here. So then I pulled each seam out until it hit a point where I felt really comfortable with it. So that's totally what I recommend, starting and then marking where you would like it. And then when you try it on again, then make sure that's where you feel comfortable with it, and then take it out. So this, and then you can weave in your ends after, but this is where it fit for me and I liked it. So the part that's on the neck and the arm, you want that to be the stretchy bind off side. So this is where you start, and then this is where you finish. So I think when I wore it last, I wore it so the sleeve was on my right arm, but that's the beauty. Like, this could be the front, this could be the back. It could even be inside out if you want. I did a seaming method of whip stitch. So on this side, you can see like the wraps of it, of the whip stitch. And then on this side, it kind of gives like an extra ridge. So really, even there, you can choose whether you want it to be inside out or right side out or whatever. This is basically like one big rectangle, and you have this seam and this seam, and that's it. Because I used Truboo. I've heard glorious things, I've heard nightmare things, I've heard all of it about Truboo, and I value all of them. The drape that you get on this is divine. The feeling on your skin is incredible. So every little bit of frustration you might have with this is completely worth the result. So this is 100% rayon from Bamboo, which means it is super slippery glidey. I highly suggest using wood needles, because like I specifically got wood needles for this, because I did try to do it with my ChiaoGoo brushed nickel, and it's just so slippery. Like, I felt like I still feel like my garter stitches are not that even. They're not that, I think my testers did a little bit better on that. I always struggle with a bit of tension, but I think it all works, and it's not affecting like the beauty of this, the wearability. It's not affecting it in that kind of way. So sometimes I have like little patches, like see where there's more separation and more gap. I would like to be more uniform, but it just didn't happen that way. I also realized after the fact that I used like a different dye lot. I didn't undo my gauge swatch, and that dye lot of that yarn was the one that matched this one, but it's fine. I think like you can't even tell really. Like, you can see in the camera whenever I spread it out for you to really and I point it out to you. But when I'm wearing it, it's really, I can't see it with my real eyes, and I kind of think it's cool that it's basically the sleeve there anyways. I don't mind color pulling, so that part doesn't bother me. But if it affects you, I would say make sure that when you purchase your yarn that you are purchasing all matching dye lots, because this is going to be one flow. I normally like to rush and join. I did not rush and join this one because I felt like it was such a slippery fiber, and when you work with it, it definitely splits. I used the color Rose for mine. I made a size small, so I used 3 skeins. I have it set that the extra small and the small use 3, medium large and extra large use 4 skeins, 2 and 3X use 5 skeins, 4 and 5X use 6. So I think it's pretty efficient on like yardage wise too. I'm interested in seeing what this will be like if you use a different fiber, but I almost don't want to. Like, I want to suggest everybody to use Truboo, because that's where you're getting this slinky drape of it. Unless you know another 100% rayon, like you need that bamboo to get this vibe, and this is what everything is about. The amount of colors that Truboo comes in, I think that it'll all be fantastic too, and you'll find something that you like. I used a 2.75 millimeter 30-inch long circular needles. You can use what works for you too. I really think that, I mean, Gauge is going to give you this kind of look of a texture and airiness, but you could even play with Gauge if you want something smaller or if you want something larger. This just gives you like a set area to start at, but I always encourage people to play around a little bit more on their designs, or these designs. Also, don't put heat on this Truboo. This is, I think mine dried pretty quickly. I wet blocked, and I would not suggest steam blocking. I do not suggest putting it in a dryer to help dry it. I mean, I guess if you do that, it's just gonna grow a little bit bigger, the possibility of that. And even with wear, like even with the warmth of your body, and if I go outside, I have the possibility of getting more growth. So my testers also all used Truboo. Kelly from It's in Stitches actually used 2 colors in hers, so you can still do color play with this if you really want to make it a little extra. I love that it stays in the aesthetic of my glam vibes. Like, glam is a feeling to me. So wearing this makes me feel confident, beautiful, and like I made this. So I think it's cool that I achieved that in this, and that you can too when you make it. We can be twinsies. I am planning on making a crochet version. I have enough yarn left because I had ordered extra. So I have enough yarn left to be able to make a crochet version, and I think it's doable. The stitches might be like a little bit different, but I'm gonna try and get similar texture. So I will be following back up on that, and it will more than likely also be a beginner friendly pattern, but for crocheters. If you have any questions or concerns, please feel free to leave a comment. If you just absolutely love this, I would love to hear that too, because I don't know, it doesn't matter how many designs I do, every single time it makes me nervous to put it out there, but also excited. It's such a whirlwind of emotions. I am loving this journey, and I totally appreciate y'all going on it with me and supporting me through it. I look forward to the next design.